in the great X-Men films, James Marsden played the character Cyclops. And as much as I love a number of the X-Men films, I gotta say, the one thing that they always kind of dropped the ball on in the X-Men movies was how they used James Marsden, Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. I always thought, like, right from the very first X-Men movie, which I love, into the second X-Men movie, which I love, but the one thing they always seemed to do badly was how they handled Scott Summers. And it's really kind of funny because in a fandom that never seems to agree on anything, most fans of X-Men agree, oh yeah, they botched the Cyclops character. They totally botched the Cyclops character. And James Marsden has gone on to have like a wonderful career. He's, as a matter of fact, like he was just nominated for an Emmy, I think, for that. Ray, what was the name of that?
Jury Duty.
What was it called
Jury
again?
Duty.
Jury Duty. Right.
Yep.
So you love that show.
Oh yeah, that show was great.
And James Marsden is so good in it. And then he's got the Sonic movies, and everybody loves him in the Sonic movies. And then he popped up at the end of Days of Future Past, and got a big pop from the audience. Well, we've got Deadpool now coming. And a lot of people are talking about all the different cameos. Well, James Marsden himself may have just hinted and teased that he himself is going to be cameoing in the new Deadpool film. And when he said this, talking to a podcast, we're actually near the Deadpool stages up there in Pinewood, Marsden said. Then you got to hear how he says it, because then there's kind of a pause. He's like, yeah, this is a little bit of a Pandora's box. During the same interview, Marsden addressed the rumors that numerous past X-Men actors rejoining Hugh Jackman in the multiverse-centric Deadpool story, and the MCU fans who bring it up with him. Yeah, I keep hearing about it. I can't walk down the street without someone asking me. So evidently, there's a lot of chatter about that, said James Marsden. All right. Do I think James Marsden and the and Cyclops should be a significant character in the upcoming X-Men Wolverine film? No, I don't. We already have major characters that the story is going to revolve around. And I don't think they should be throwing in a whole ton of other characters that'll just dilute it. But do I think that we're going to see James Marsden Cyclops pop up, either likened unto the quick cameo he did at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past, or maybe even a little bit bigger than that? I absolutely do. I 100% believe we're going to see him. Again, I don't think he's going to have 10 minutes of screen time, but I do think we're going to see him, and I will be excited too, because the nature of the movie itself lends itself to it, right? Like normally, you know me, guys, I'm like, don't over cameo everything just for the sake of cameos. But from everything we're hearing about Wolverine and Deadpool, Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine, whatever you want to call it, it sounds like a lot of cameos fits in with what it is they're trying to do. And if you do that, I think James Marsden's got to be a bit of it. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Miracle Made. Did you know that your temperature at night can have one of the greatest impacts on your sleep quality? If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Inspired by NASA, Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics and makes temperature-regulating bedding so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. When they arrived at our house, my wife Ann loved the feel of them so much, she couldn't even wait for me to get home to put them on our bed. Miracle Made has self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. Miracle Sheets also have incredible comfort and quality. Miracle Sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands and feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. So go to TryMiracle, that's TryMiracle.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to TryMiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's TryMiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. So Rob, let me ask you this. It's kind of a two-part question.
Yeah.
Number one, does James Marsden's comments make you lean either way about whether you think we're going to see him in this Deadpool movie? And then secondly, and maybe more importantly, other than, say, Jennifer Garner, who we already know is coming in as Elektra, because she played Elektra in the Fox films already, who else do you think we're probably going to see from the X titles that we've seen? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other cameos from other movies as well, but I mean, from the X titles themselves. So number one, James Marsden, what do you think? Number two, who else in that X universe do you think we're going to see pop up in here?
Well, first of all, I love James Marsden. You know, I did the special features for X-Men and X2. So the first time I interviewed James Marsden was on the set of X2. And then, of course, I hung out with him for a year in Australia working on Superman Returns. He is one of the nicest guys. And he's so talented. And in real, you know, I'll tell you a funny story about him. He didn't realize that when you were on the internet on the Fox Studios lot in Sydney, that people could hear you if you were talking to like your family or something via the internet. And he would get on and he plays guitar and he would like sing songs to his kids and he didn't know this at first. And people could hear him play songs to his kids when they like went to bed and stuff. And you got to love that guy. I mean, he's just to be around him. And I don't think he's ever become the leading man. He should be a leading man. That guy should be a mega star.
100%.
Because I think he's a great actor. And he kind of got done dirty in the X-Men movies. And I have to tell you, one of my favorite moments in any X-Men film is when he comes back with Jean at the end of Days of Future Past. They kept that a secret. I was at an early screening, seeing an early cut of the film, and I didn't know that was happening. And I totally welled up with tears being an X-Men fan. So I think 100% he is going to be in this movie, and I think 100% they're going to make jokes about how Scott Summers was done dirty in the X-Men franchise on the big screen. And as far as what other X-Men cameos are going to be in the movie, John, I'm going to go Gary Oldman in The Professional, aka Leon. Everyone. I think they're going to bring back as many cast members as other. We know Vinnie Jones isn't going to be in it,
right?
So I can but he's in The Gentleman, and if you haven't seen the new Gentleman TV series, it's a banger, and he's great in it. I honestly think that we're going to see everybody. Like when I say I think Anna Paquin, I think Halle Berry, I think James Marsden, I think because Hugh Jackman can just call him on the phone. Look, when they snuck Cyclops, they snuck Famke Johnson and James Marsden across the border, so no one knew they were coming. I mean, they went into Canada to shoot that day cameo, and then they snuck them out. So they drove them, so no one knew they were in Canada when they were shooting, because they didn't want to tip off that ending. And if they can do that, I think, like I said, John, everyone. That's one of the things. I mean, I'm deliriously excited as you are for Wolverine and Deadpool. I just hope that these cameos, that they're not just like, hey, hi, remember me? I mean, I hope they have some significant part to play, not like long scenes or anything, but when we see them, that they have they're not just there, that it somehow fits in with the plot. But otherwise, I can only imagine how much fun this movie is going to be to watch. I can't wait.
The other thing about James is that, you know, obviously it comes up in our circles. The first thing we think about is Cyclops. Of course, I get that. But at the same time, he has quietly just really put together a really nice resume. Like we were already talking about Jury Duty, which was, he got an Emmy Award nomination for it. But I remember he broke, which I loved. There's a stereotype in movies that I've always hated. Always hate it, not because in any one particular movie, but because it's always the case. In any movie, when your hero likes a girl and that girl is already in a marriage or a relationship of some kind, the guy she's in a relationship with is an asshole. Every time. Like in every movie for the longest time, when the hero liked a girl and the girl was already in a relationship, that guy was a douchebag. Every time. And in Superman Returns, James Marsden's character was actually a break of that stereotype. Like Superman comes back and he wants Lois, but Lois is with this other guy, and it's James Marsden, and he's actually a really good guy. Like and I love that it broke that stereotype. And then even his comedic chops when he was in Anchorman 2, which was not as good as the original Anchorman, but he was great in the second Anchorman. He fit in so well. Oh, it looked like you had a thought. Sorry. But he looks so good. So I loved what I saw there. I love him. I hope we get to see a lot of them upcoming. And as far as who else can be in there for, the upcoming Deadpool Wolverine film, I do think Halle Berry was already kind of got leaked out when those pictures were taken of her when she had the Storm haircut again, right as they were filming Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that became kind of obvious. So sure. Patrick Stewart has hinted on a number of occasions that he and Ian McKellen are probably going to appear in it. I don't know about James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. It would be really cool to see them pop up. But Shawn Ashmore, I think we're going to mention that. I think we're probably going to see most of them. I even think Cyclops, and not Deadpool Cyclops. I mean, like the X-Men movies. The dude who played Cyclops never had a lot to do in the movies. He actually, what's funny? Cyclops had his biggest role in X-Men Days of Future Past. It's like he had the most to do in X-Men Days of Future Past. But I think they're all going to be there. And then, you know what we got to do sometime next week, Rob? I've had like at least 30 or 40 people write in. And they said, we once did a video. I can't remember what movie it was about. But we did a video breaking down the odds of each character that maybe could cameo in an upcoming film. And people have been asking me like a lot to do the same for Deadpool. So we got to do that video next week.
That's hilarious. We should totally do that.
Yeah, we will do that. And it won't just be limited to, Chef Leaf or Chief Leaf is saying it was for No Way Home. That's what it's for. We did the breaking down and the odds of each, and it won't just be X-Men characters. It'll be Marvel characters. It'll be the whole thing. We'll do all of it. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Is James Marsden teasing his appearance in the new X-Men film or in the new Deadpool film? Are you thinking he's going to be there? Do you think, like Rob and I do, that just about all the X-Men characters are going to pop up? Maybe you don't agree with that. Maybe you think it's going to be limited and they're going to focus on cameos from other film franchises. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.